October 20th, 2025. What's your name?
My name is Andy Wassenick.
At today's Homeless Memorial Vigil, is there someone you would like to remember?
Yes, he's not someone who passed this year, but in years past, a couple years ago. Yeah.
You want to ask about
Who is this person?
His name is David Ashmore, and he's a former client of mine, and he was a gentleman who was unhoused on the streets of DC for decades. He passed away. He was in his 80s, and he was quite a character.
How will we put an end to people dying on the streets?
We put people in housing. That's it.
What do you think are the biggest causes of homelessness in Washington, D.C.?
In Washington, D.C., I think the biggest causes of homelessness are the lack of deeply affordable housing and affordable housing in general. We just don't have enough of it. And there are far more people in the city who really just, if they're not outright homeless already, they're really on the precipice of homelessness. There are a lot of people who are really struggling. And as when we have resources to get people off the street, like there are more coming in every day becoming homelessness. And so what we really need to do is to, make sure that we have the resources to, keep everybody afloat and housed. And first of all, to house the folks who are outside now, and then to stem the tide. And there's lots of things that we can do to that. But part of it is, making sure that there's just a affordable housing to begin with, but also that there's just more opportunity and economic opportunity. Systemic racism is a big part of homelessness in Washington, D.C. 80 to 90% of people experiencing homelessness in Washington, D.C. are black. And this city has a history of racist housing policies. And was a segregated city in the 50s and 60s. And so economic opportunity has just not been equal in this city for a lot of the folks. And most of the folks who are experiencing homelessness in Washington, D.C. are from here. And so, we need to keep that in mind as well. I think there's sometimes a narrative saying that, they're coming from other parts of, nearby jurisdictions or other parts of the country. And, there's some of that, but the vast majority of people are folks who were born here.
I think you asked this.
If you could get 50 people to join you in doing something to end homelessness, what would you have these people do?
Well, it depends on who those 50 people are. Because if they were a certain 50 people, I would ask them to not wait to be taxed, and to give of their, immense resources, and help those who are less fortunate. Look, we're living in a gilded age right now, that we haven't seen in a long time or maybe ever. And one of the differences that I keep thinking about is the gilded age of the 1880s. The people who were mega rich back then, they built hospitals, they built universities, they built orphanages, they built all kinds of things, right, to be remembered. And we don't see anything like that. There's no Bezos hospital. There's no, there's just none of that, right? There may be charitable giving, but it is not helping those who are most in need. And so I would, if I could, call on the 50 richest people in this country, they all have the resources to end homelessness in this country, period. Not just in the city, but in this country. So the amount of money that's being spent on the ballroom in the White House would house every unhoused person in this city for years.
What about everyday people?
Everyday people, I would probably, have them join some kind of advocacy or writing, or campaign to really lobby our members, our local elected officials, our city council, our mayor in particular, to let them know that it's not acceptable, that folks are dying on our streets. When we have apartments that are empty and buildings that are empty and resources that we just choose to spend on other things.
If you could build a better world, what would it look like?
if I could build it would just be more equitable. It would be a world without the division, a world where we recognize the humanity of everybody and the value of everybody's life, and that value is not measured by their economic output, but simply by the fact that they are here and they have something to offer the world and each other. I don't know how we build that, but like that's what I think. Like, you know, there's more. We are more alike, you know, than we are different, and the things that separate us are things that are up here. And how do we lower those barriers in our minds?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate